Okie dokie, we're live. I think. Well, one way or another, doesn't matter. I'm still got to do the jobs. So, I've got an iPhone 7 that's just come in. I got to get this done. And yeah, it's just a screen replacement. Funnily enough, I think I did this one a couple of weeks ago. So, looks like the person's dropped it on the floor. Good old shattering. Anyway, we'll get to that. And then I've got a power supply I've got to fix up because I botched up. I thought I had stock on hand, but it turns out I don't. Or at least I can't find any stock on hand, so I'm going to have to repair their power supply, which is a bit of a waste of my time. And there's always the risk, of course, that I can't repair it. But I've got the best I can do otherwise is 24 hours to get a new delivery, and that's just too long. Hey Greg, Christian, I have Cat. Yeah, that's a good name to have. Just move everybody over to in front of the camera so that I look at you when I talk. I hate it when you've got these things on the back because it makes it difficult to do the separation. Oh yeah, I've got to remember to put my glasses on when I do this. Hey Sniper. Yep. I believe they did have something on this, but apparently it hit the floor pretty hard. And the reason why I'm wearing glasses at this stage is because with this sort of fracturing, I find I just slide up, it just shoots up glass into your eyeballs. Well, I know that for a fact because at least twice now I've had to spend 20 minutes under the water, flush my eyes out. No fun at all. Man, this is going to be a real pain. Okay. Well, at least I can take them off now. It's only a temporary thing. Dave, yeah, well, that certainly wasn't a literal sense. Metaphorically. As if it's not hard enough to get tri-wing screws out already, I've got to do it with this tilting stupid contraption on the back. Okay. So this wasn't meant to be in the stream. I was just going to do the power supply, but hey, it turned up just as I was settling down, so I thought I'd add it. And I thought I'd get it out of the way first before I start ingesting various flux fumes, getting high. Okay, that's good. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Oh dear, shock. It's weird, I'm not showing any issues on this side. Oh, hey Peter Crystal. You also keep packing tape. Yeah, that's another option. I guess for me... Oh, almost got my sequence wrong. I'll take the Touch ID button, screw out first, then the others. And at least, hopefully, I'll minimize my risk of doing dumb things. Mind you, it is the internet, so we're all meant to do dumb things. Dave Nally, pants down means I got caught out in the sense that I should have had stock on hand of such a common item, and I didn't. I wonder if this will come up without me needing to heat it, because I've already done it before. Would help if I could find my... Oh, there it is. Hey Rod K. Hey Dan B. Finally caught a live stream. You only have 10% battery. I'm hoping this won't be a long live stream. Nope, looks like I bonded that down good and proper, so I'm gonna have to heat this one up. Ah, see, the microscope camera wasn't working properly there. What are we after? Let's try not destroy the touch ID button. Thank you, I have cat. You have a good sleep. Okay, let's see if this microscope camera's come back to life. It has not. Alright, I'll fix up the microscope camera once I've got this off. Let's see what's going on. Come on, come on. Give me the microscope. Come on, man, don't be like that. I finally worked out how in Linux with Open Broadcaster to make it that the cameras come up consistently. And hopefully I'll probably have to make a patch for Open Broadcaster to do this without having to do it the hack way I did. And hopefully they'll accept that. But basically it comes down to, with Open Broadcaster at the moment, oh man, come on. Why is... we'll just have to use that one. Yep, okay. Alright, that's up and running. Anyway, so yeah, I've worked out a way to do it, although it seems a little quirky on, as you can see with the microscope camera. I'm not sure why. Maybe because the camera isn't primarily designed as a USB camera. It is meant to be HDMI, but I am using it via its USB port. Who knows? But for the face camera and the overhead camera, it's now working very consistently. And I didn't have to do any crazy UDEV rules or anything like that. Or any rules. But it is going to need the Open Broadcaster people to actually make a modification in their code just so that we can select devices by the video for Linux name rather than the actual device name, like dev video 1, dev video 2. And that's really all the change is. It's just a case of let us select it by the device video for Linux by ID, and then it'll be all settled. Let's see. Hey Joshua for Patrick. Fitzpatrick, sorry. Right, those out. Yeah, well, it's definitely one of mine. See if we get the spudger under there. You're going to be soft enough? Nope. I'm only using 250 centigrade on these to heat up that adhesive. That way there's pretty much no risk of, you know, deballing anything. There you go. Once again though, I've forgotten to test the screen to see if it actually was still functional with touch and everything, and whether the customer was getting it replaced purely for aesthetic reasons. Which means that's going to go in the pile of unsure screens, which means instead of being thrown out this week, they'll be thrown out in about 2 years' time. We lost the comment already. No, it's still there. Alright, everybody's just watching. And for those of you who watched yesterday with the iPhone 6, I tried a few more things. It ended up having a short on PP LDO2, which is also USB 1V8, and that comes off the baseband PMIC. That was shorted down to about 2 ohms. And I removed the caps that were either side of it, and that was no good. And I tried to remove baseband CPU, and it's still shorted. And so, yeah, ended up as a baseband PMIC. And even with those removed, it still wouldn't boot properly. As far as I know, the iPhone 6 should be able to boot without its baseband PMIC and CPU. So that one basically went into the bin. It didn't go in the bin, but I basically said to the customer, we don't have the best of hope with this one. Rodk, it's on my web page under the repair items page. If there's someone on chat that wants to link Rod while I'm doing this, otherwise I'll do it once I'm finished putting this backplate back on. They are not cheap, I'll tell you that now. The camera is certainly quite expensive. And then also the adapter so that it fits onto the AIM-scope head, that's also fairly expensive. But I spent a few $100s stuffing around with adapters and all sorts of things before I just accepted the fact that it was a one-off upfront cost, but it's worth it. And the nice thing about the camera is, like I said before, it will do HDMI output and USB output. And the USB output is full HD, but it's only 30 frames per second out of the USB. But that's good enough for what I'm doing for now. Okay. Yeah, I'll put the link in now that I've... Oh, very good. Greg got me. Thanks, Greg. Okay. I can get back on with my job. I'm sure for most of you this is absolutely nothing at all interesting currently. I was probably one of the last people to do iPhone 7 screens. I was too chicken. Heck, it took me ages to even do a 6S. It's too chicken because I didn't know what I was dealing with, and I didn't have access to a working sort of test donor or anything like that. And I wasn't willing to risk it on a customer one. Okay. Really hoping the power supply ends up being just a bad cap. It feels like it's a bad cap power supply just by the fact that when you first press it, nothing happens, and you pound it a few more times, and eventually, if you're lucky, it will turn on. And then from there, it's fairly stable. The machine came in with a complaint of Windows 10 would not boot to anything more than a black screen. But that ended up being a bad 1 terabyte Western Digital green hard drive. And fortunately, the person was only using about 97 gigs of their 1 terabyte hard drive, so I just shuffled them over to a 250 gig solid state drive. They'll be set. Cheaper than a replacement 1 terabyte. Certainly a lot faster, and more than enough space for them. Okay. Hey Bailey, it's me. Yeah, well, you're pretty much just catching up from our chit chat this morning. Just getting this iPhone 7 out of the way before I get on with the power supply. The power supply that I should have had in stock, but do not have in stock. I have a feeling I really do have one, but it'll be in a box somewhere in the the storage shed, because it was sitting in, or at least I'm fairly sure, most of my stock sits in another room, but I had to clear that room out because of the new living arrangements. And time was running short, because at that time I was still doing the fence. And so I just sort of grabbed everything, threw it into boxes and bags and whatever. And that was the last I remember of it. Oh, 97, not 37, 97. Ah. This is such a pain doing it this way. One of these days I hope to learn a technique of getting that flexed down and attached without feeling like I'm on the verge of tearing it. Though maybe there is no technique, maybe it's just that's the way it is. I would have thought that Apple would make these things a little easier for their assembly line crew. Because then you can build more faster. I can understand if disassembly was a bit harder, but the actual assembly process, I really would have thought that would be as fast as possible. Yeah, small hands would help. I've got medium hands, I'd say. Even though all the gloves I wear say large or extra large, and it's like I don't have large hands. I have appropriately sized hands. Come on, you little rat bags. Oh, that was a pain. Suppose I should power it up first before I lock it down. I know what they say about the big hands and feet, but I'm lucky I'm married. Well, yeah, okay. Seems like that's all good. Let's see if the home button works. It does, all good. Power that off. Southwest Kitty, it's 1:30 at the moment, so a little after lunch. I was supposed to be having lunch and then I had to come down here and sort this power supply out because the machine is a person's business machine. And so obviously, while they don't have it, they can't make money. So I'm more than happy to take their money so they can make money. But first I've got to have a power supply. Alright. What I'm doing now is making sure I don't botch up the flex on this. No, come on, man. Let's flip that over. Well, I've got an iPad 3 here that has been dropped off, and it takes a little bit of charge. This person's charge port needs cleaning too. Oh, we'll get back to the iPad 3 in a bit. Crotch cam. Oh yeah, it's a doozy of a piece of junk in there. We're going in Dr. Pimple Popper style. It looks like a bit of plastic. And a bit of random squished in junk there, but I'm not going to try and dig that out. That's good. Alright. Speaker works at least. Okay. Let's see if our charge rate's good. Yeah, charge rate's a little weak. It's 900, but it's only at 40%, so I'd say the battery's probably getting a bit old on this. Had to go to the doctor's to get my frozen shoulder fixed, but he ended up ripping the sutures. Ah, nasty. Did you have to get new sutures put in? Hey, BKLL, Mr. 1984. Let's see, what was Bailey saying? Ear speaker and front cam. Oh yeah, front cam definitely. You mean face cam or front cam? It doesn't matter. I'll test them both. Front cam works perfectly fine. My ugly face works. What's your preferred way of testing an earpiece? Because what I used to do is actually dial numbers on the keypad. Sounds good. Okay, it's a win. Another $300 for me. Just kidding. I don't make that much. Alright. Can't they have to do more surgery? Oh. Yeah. Well, in the actual shoulder? That's nasty. You mean selfie cam? I don't care. I don't care what you want to call it. Whatever. Alright, managed to get the screws off at least. Now let's see if... well, at least that didn't kill me. Oh, nice. It's actually got a detachable fan on this one. I love that. The number of times I get these and they have these fans soldered in. What a pain in the butt. Board looks very toasty warm, and I think I can already see a dead cap there. In fact, you guys probably can see that cap. Now the only fun part about these boards is that it's really hard to do under the microscope because they're just so high. Yeah, that cap looks really healthy. It's kind of smiling at us. Do you ever check the proximity sensor? Yeah, when I put it to my ear for the dialing. I suppose I could just put my hand over it. So we've got one cap there. I know that definitely is one that misbehaves, causes this sort of misbehavior. I'm pretty sure that's part of the turn on circuitry, as opposed to the main output ones, which are over here. Yeah, it looks like it's just that one. I'll also check the underside for things like geckos and other critters. I will say I don't normally like doing the repairs on this for legal reasons. I mean, you get your grommet jammed in there good, bud. And I really don't want to... come on, don't make me split that grommet. The reason why I don't like splitting open the grommet is because once you split it open, it's damn near impossible to get the cables back in. Looks like it's splitting anyway. Oh well. Looks like it'll be a fun day for me. Fuse was also shot. What? Greg? Oh, through our OCZ 50. Oh, right, yeah. If the fuse is shot, then you're pretty much going to want to throw it out. Well, so far as getting in and out of these, this one's not too bad. It doesn't have a protective bottom plastic shield down here, but that's not a big problem. We do have an insect there, but you're a moth, so you're not really going to be a problem. That was just more of a... you'd call it a red herring, but it was a moth, so... and it was grey. Okay. Probably the hardest thing about doing these power supplies is just working your way around the short cables. Okay. And then the joy of flipping two-sided boards. I hate two-sided. What are we looking for? I'm actually having a hard time guessing where this one is. Normally your finger can place where it is fairly well. Pretty sure that's one there. The power supply rating is well, on the box it says 620, so that's probably 250 real. Yeah, doesn't feel like I've got that part right. Maybe this one. Yep, that's it. Alrighty. Unfortunately the camera is a bit of a wobbler while I got that. I've got to spend some time and separate these. So we've got 10 volt, 1500 microfarad. Yet another one of those quirky values that they love to use. And let's see. Here we go. King of Random died too early. I don't really know the chap. What's my spacing like around there? Yeah, I could jam a larger cap if I had to. So with 1000 microfarad, 10 volt, you actually probably could get away with that. But, and there's another 1010. 1003. I'll probably have to go 2210. Oh, look at that, another 1010. 2210. So we do have an option if required. I just would have liked a taller profile one. 1016. 1016. Gee whiz. Now if you're sitting there thinking, how can I possibly get away with using a 1000 in a 1500? Part of that comes from the fact that more than likely those caps are already over-specced by a major factor. 1025, 1000, oh my god, I've got nothing but 1000s. And with a lot of electrolytes, particularly the cheaper ones, they've got something like a 15%, not 15, 50% tolerance on them. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be doomed for... There's a 2210. 1010. I could also do two in parallel, but physically that is an ugly fix. Paragliding in Utah, yeah. I'm pretty sure I can jam that 2210 in. And this is I'm pretty sure this is a Panasonic one. Panasonic FMs, I'm pretty sure I've got here. 105 temperature rated. So they're well and truly up to spec. And yeah, I can jam that in. You'll be right, mate. Funny stuff, Luke. You're a comedian. This stuff's so big I can almost do it without a microscope. So a crap ton of nasty tantalums. Oh yeah. I think the big problem with tantalums is, I mean, they're a great high capacity cap, but too many times they've been used in high ripple situations and they really just don't like the high ripple. And that prematurely ages them, and then next thing you know you get a very pretty purple flash. That's it. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to deal with the wobbles. Yeah, 11.6 million subs. Holy dooly. That's quite a few. So was his paragliding incident part of a YouTube setup, or was it just him just having his casual day off type thing? I'm not too worried about the specifics on that cap. Like I said, I mean, most of the time when the engineers are designing these power supplies, they're either just copying from someone else, or they're just thumb sucking and going, yeah, let's just throw that much at it, and it should cover us good and proper. No one really sits down and actually does the math to compare the ripple with the requirements, with the current, with cross-check with the... Yeah, it's just a case of very much cut and try. Yeah, I just need my top shield because I really don't want to run this without that top shield. Oh, there it is. About the only time anyone puts actual thought and effort into the values is when they've got a timing circuit or RF or something like that. People who do RF, they are wizards and warlocks, witches. That stuff is black magic. No, it was just paragliding for fun. Oh well, at least it was having fun. It's still not a nice way of ending things. Oops. This drive is a little bit big for the unit. Right, to test this, I have a contraption. Dear God, whoever originally decided that Molex type connectors, I know this isn't Molex, I'm just talking in general. Molex type connectors were ideal for PCs. I hope they had a horrible end to their life. Okay, that should do the trick. And now to find an IEC cable. Something I should have dozens upon dozens of. I do, but again, like the power supply, maybe I've misplaced it. Okay, turn off that. I'll be honest, normally I have a residual, an RCD on this. And I cannot seem to find my RCD. I'm not a great fan of doing these things without the RCD. Don't forget the floppy power connector. Well, that should already be picking up. This doesn't even have one anyway. Oh yeah, it does. That should be picking up the same voltages anyway. Okay, clear for the bang in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, no bang. Okay, what have we got there? Everything looks pretty healthy. Yeah. Yep, I think that fixed it. Which doesn't surprise me one bit. Okay. Hey, RigTech. The fuse? What? Nothing to do with fuse around here. We're all fixed. Is it a FSP supply? Oh crikey. No, I don't know. This is generic Changzhong crud supply. Well, that's fixed. So now at least I can go put this onto the server. It's not really a server, it's just a workstation. You wouldn't want a server with this power supply. But yeah, so did I really just save myself $40? No, not really. I sort of spent it on YouTube and fiddling around, taking 15 minutes to do that. Could have made $40 otherwise. Yes, so no Magic Smoke out today. It obviously got released earlier. Where did that cap go? Oh, there it is. So we had a little friendly cap here, and this is the one that decided it had a bad day. I'm kind of curious its failure mode, whether that was a... That really looks more like it was a violent failure as opposed to just a leakage one, or it could be that leakage is simply oxidized over time or something like that. I'm not sure. It kind of gives me the feel that it was a little more violent than the typical leakage. My power supply tester has a car headlight on the 12 volts. Yeah, that's a common sort of thing to do as a load. It's not truly purely resistive, but it's good enough. But then again, the inductiveness only comes on if they run those things on AC, so I retract my comment. Alright, well, I better get back to it, but I just thought I'd catch us all up. And, well, maybe see you later today, or probably tomorrow, or whenever it happens. So, until then, you all take care. I'll see you later.